Hello everyone, I am Meg400, and I do not in any way support rape, so if anyone was offended by my casual use of the term in the last video, I apologize. But yeah, we gotta go stop Drowzee from raping Azurill. Anyway, no, it's nothing bad, but we still have to stop him because, I mean, who just kidnaps a small Pokemon to go up in the mountains all alone? That's just wrong.
Team Rocket.
Well, yeah, but Team Rocket's just creepy in general. Anyway, this is Bristle Mountain. It's easily the longest and hardest dungeon we've done thus far. And it's kind of complex in general. Also, it goes up as opposed to down, as you can notice by the staircases going upward.
Small nitpick correction on the name. Mount Bristle is meant to be a play on words. Like, the mountains are supposed to look like bristles on, like, a brush or a toothbrush.
Didn't I say bristle?
I said Bristol. Like, Bristol as in England.
Well, I can't pronounce things, you know that.
Welcome to Bristol, England.
It's a weakness of mine. Anyway, I'm feeding myself iron and stuff like that, and just taking care of... Pretty much I'm using up the items we got last time.
You cheater.
How's that cheating?
It's not cheating. It's not cheating.
This isn't like Fire Emblem.
I'm cheating.
PTM, I think I am cheating.
I think you are.
And I'm also switching off Thundershock because I want to save that in the reserves for you. The one thing I know at one point I turned back on making you use special moves, but I'm actually at some point probably I'm gonna end up turning that off because you still use special moves if you allow him to use the attack too. But it's sometimes nice to allow the Pikachu just to attack and not use a special move all the time.
I tend to agree with that up to a certain point. You're gonna definitely need all the help you can get
later on.
Definitely later on. And you can stock up on moves like Elixir or Ether too.
And it has been confirmed you can't really attack from corners. There are some exceptions to that, I believe.
Yeah. Water dungeons later on will allow you to do that.
Yeah, and you can also throw pebbles from a corner too.
Yes. Yeah, Mount Bristle, man. It's pretty, desolate.
Yeah, the music's also kind of bland too, as I've mentioned. But it's not too bad. I really like the town theme's awesome, and each cave is pretty cool too. And
actually, this track is used a lot.
Is it in later ones?
I'm pretty sure. I thought they had unique tracks for each one, but I think in a couple dungeons they do reuse some tracks.
I wish it's like if you're gonna reuse a track, make it a really good one. It seems like a lot of times they'll reuse. Well, sometimes they'll reuse good ones. I know, like Koji Kondo, when making the Mario Bros. Theme or something, he said, I think it was him, he has to listen to a song multiple times because if someone's going to be playing this level, this doesn't really have to do with reusing a song, but in terms of making a song enjoyable, you have to play the song over and over in your head, because if you can still like it after listening to it like 50 times, then the player will like it because they're going to be hearing it a lot through playing through the levels.
I mean, the early game developers probably got a lot of leeway, because, I mean, video games back then were a pretty big deal.
Oh, it's really impressive, though, how much game composers were able to do, especially with so little in terms of technology. They didn't have that many... they didn't have, like, any fancy instruments or anything. They pretty much just had to get it right in terms of being catchy and not too annoying, too, because it'd be constantly playing. So...
they should play the main town theme from Mystery Dungeon in every single dungeon.
The first one, or
this one?
What is the first? The first one's different, isn't it? The first Mystery Dungeon games. They're like rescue.
The first Mystery Dungeon game, they put a lot of weight onto this. This one doesn't put a lot of weight onto the story.
Wait, really? I feel like they put a lot of weight on the story here.
The Blue Mystery Dungeon focuses more on you as a human being. It focuses a lot on the main character, more than this game.
Well,
this one has a lot more gameplay in this one.
But this one has a really complex plot, though, too, I feel.
It's more complex, but there's a lot more... I don't know. It's
I guess
I don't know how
I don't
to
know
describe
the plot to the original one though, so I can't really judge. I just know, knowing the plot to this one, I was really impressed by how complex this is. Not to give away spoilers, but it's kind of deep for a Pokemon game. I mean,
this Blue Rescue Team I played Blue Rescue Team. The Red Rescue Team is pretty much the same game. The dungeons played this pretty much the similar way, but the missions were a lot different. Like in the first game, it wasn't about finding a certain Pokemon with a certain item or catching an outlaw. It was completely rescue related. You had to search out Pokemon. And there are rescue missions in this game, but there's a lot more varied mission types.
So the gameplay you're saying is more complex than this one?
The gameplay is more. They've fixed the gameplay a lot. I like the gameplay in this one a lot more.
Yeah. I think the other thing, that's why, again, I've heard people say, oh, the worst Pokemon spin-offs are the Mystery Dungeon games. Well, are you talking about Explorers of Darkness and Sky and Time? Because I feel like these are really good games for a spin-off.
Wait, who said that these were bad games?
I just see various reviewers over the internet. It seems like these games get a lot of flack for being bad spin-offs, and I'm like...
Just because they're basing their judgment on a established style of gameplay for Pokemon, and it's like I think it's gonna be the same way for Nobunaga's Ambition Cross Pokemon when that ever comes out.
Well, that's out. It's just out in Japan only at the moment.
Okay. Because I mean, for people who played the Koei games, they've used the same formula pretty much for the Romance of the Three Kingdoms series for a long time.
Oh yeah, because there's people who like Samurai Warriors and those Dynasty Warriors and those games. People really seem to dislike them, but then Slim's talked about that he likes them, and I've seen the other people I've heard like them. So really, when it gets down to it, just like what you like and ignore what other people. Because everyone's gonna have their different tastes. When it gets down to it, even if they have a good reason for not liking it, that might not be a reason that applies to you.
And Mystery Dungeon, I don't think this was supposed to come out in the States either.
I don't know. I'm glad it did, because it's a...
I noticed that on Ustream. I kind of dived into the Japanese part of Ustream, and dungeon crawler games are really popular over there.
You just randomly decided to go to Japanese Ustream?
Yeah, like through one night at 3 a.m. a couple of years ago.
I don't have anything to do at 3 a.m. Let's just go on.
But they have hundreds of people watching these streams of these dungeon crawler games.
Oh yeah.
And it's all in Japanese, and they love them. So,
Yeah, it does seem to be a there's certain game series over that are more popular in Japan than like the other thing that's weird is they really like Monster Hunter over in Japan, even though that's actually it's because typically they don't really like of Western genre, but they're not as big on like the shooter games or stuff like that. But for some reason, or adventure, I think they're not as big on adventure games because I actually think Zelda they're not as big on as I could be entirely wrong on that. All I know is that Japanese really love Monster Hunter. That's why when they announced they were putting 2 Monster Hunter games for 3DS, that was like a big deal because...
What is Monster Hunter?
It's basically, I think, like a... it's an RPG, but it's not turn-based. I think it's an RPG, and you go around hunting monsters in an open world, kind of... Not really like... I want to say kind of like... Not really like Oblivion. I don't know what it exactly is, but it's... I really should look it up more, but I knew it was something that wouldn't interest me, but pretty much it's kind of a... Actually, you know what? I can go look it up now.
Is it an open world kind of game?
Yeah, let me...
Because I think the game you were trying to mention was...
Fantasy action role-playing video game.
Fantasy action.
Developed by Capcom. The player is a hunter in a fantasy environment, completes quests by seeking out monsters to hunt or capture, basically.
Okay. Isn't there like a card game version of that?
Maybe.
Or a board or a tabletop game?
Well, that might be. You can make a tabletop version of anything, really. I guess I would think if you would. So yeah, just continuing through. This is just a really long. Well, it can be long. Of course, any dungeon can be short if you just go right to the exit. I'm obviously trying to explore and get more items.
There should be a tabletop version of Mario Party, and you actually have to perform the mini games, like Mario. You know the Mario Party 5 mini game where you cut the cords and it catapults you off a cliff.
Okay, but the thing is, some of the games involve lava and spikes and dying in general.
Take a flight to Hawaii.
Yeah, that's.
Totally. Lava Tile Isle. Boom. There you go.
Might as well rename it Death the Game. No, the game of death instead of the game of life.
I brought your favorite board game, the game.
The game. Anything, again, not really much happening. Oh, yeah, wing attacks are pretty, I think there's some move that someone knows. Oh, Xi Seed. This causes dizzy effects to an enemy.
Save these for boss battles, please. Thank you. Any item that causes confusion, dizziness, or silence, or that sort of effect, generally save for bigger battles, because those are really effective. You can't use orbs on bosses.
You can't? Really, I thought you can use some orbs on bosses.
No orbs can be used on bosses.
What if they use them? What if the orb has an effect on you?
I don't think bosses can use orbs. They can throw seeds.
No, I mean, what if is there any orbs that affect you and not the boss?
There are. I think it prevents you. I have to actually mess with that. If it affects the boss directly, though, it definitely doesn't work. I don't know if like stat boosting orb for you would not be effective. I think there's something in the game that prevents you from using them completely.
And now I'm at level 10.
Level 10 Chimchar still hurts.
And I'm pretty much just trying to scratch all these enemies because the problem is some of them can do quite a bit of damage. And I know, like, I'm pretty much trying to reserve Ember because that's a pretty powerful move, but I'm fine with using up Scratch on these guys.
I think something that's worth mentioning, and I'm not really sure about this, but I think if you use one of your special attacks, like Scratch, at least once in a battle...
Yeah, you get bonus points.
Oh, you get bonus experience, okay.
Yeah, they mentioned it at... I think they mentioned it in one of the previous... And yeah, I just blew fire on a rock, but
Yeah, the type advantages, they play a big role in making your damage bigger, but as far as disadvantages, like fire against a rock type...
It's not gonna...
Sometimes it doesn't matter.
Yeah, because it seemed to not do much. But I'm assuming that if we use fire on a grass Pokemon, they do a lot of damage.
Yes, definitely.
And great job waking up that Nidorina.
And it seems to change a lot, too. Like, it seems to vary in amount of damage. Like, Ember won't do the same amount of damage every time.
Thing is, type advantage matters, but like, at least in the regular Pokemon games. Oh, now I'm getting hungry, so I'm going to eat an apple.
Big apple's good. Big apple.
But the thing with the regular Pokemon games, type advantage matters, obviously, and that's the biggest thing. Like, even if you're at a level disadvantage, the type advantage can easily help you win. And I feel like some people overthink the Pokemon games, and for competitive gaming, fair enough, but like for the standard plot of Pokemon, you can beat that game easily as long as you have the right types and, you know, level them up. Like, basically for Ruby, I did a run of that. I was trying to complete my living Pokedex, so I had all the Pokemon in the world all in a box. But for Ruby, I pretty much played through that with just Blaziken.
Oh, I actually did that with Emerald.
Like, I had a few backup Pokemon, but pretty much it was just Blaziken, just to get to where the Reggies are and stuff. And it worked. I mean...
Blaziken's broken.
Well, that, and also, the fact that you're putting all your experience on one Pokemon, too. And it's a firefighting, which is a pretty...
You picked up a Reviver Seed. That's another rare item that sometimes appears in the Kecleon shop. Those are the kind of items I'm talking about that you really need to save up your money for.
Yeah, Reviver Seed, if the name wasn't evident, revives you if you die. Does it? I think it does it automatically too, doesn't it?
You have... Yes, okay. It does. It's just... It's like a... Not like a Phoenix Down.
It's like a...
Describe it. What's a good comparison? Something that an item that automatically takes effect when you die. Oh, like a life shroom.
Yeah, it's like a life shroom.
Like that.
There's probably a better example, but that pretty much is. But the thing with the Reviver one is, I think it revives you fully, doesn't it?
Reviver Seed? Oh, I don't remember, honestly.
Oh, did you learn Thunder Wave yet?
I don't know. I'm pretty scared at the moment. This big Nidorino? No, I don't remember. I should be learning it very soon.
You have learned it. So I guess level 10. Because Thunder Wave is definitely going to be useful, because obviously you have to hope that Pikachu uses it, but Thunder Wave is useful because it can paralyze the Pokemon.
Type disadvantage will matter for status inflicting moves. It won't matter as much for the damaging moves. So Thunder Wave against like a ground type won't be very effective. And that's actually going to be a problem in a future boss.
Yeah, someone mentioned that, and we are aware, but that one we'll get through it hopefully.
Don't spoil it. If you do, I'm going to come over there where you live and kick your butt.
The boss is
the
Gary
boss
Oak.
is Dunsparce is a normal type. Dunsparce.
No, I would do a Pokemon, do an Elite through 4 run with only Dunsparce.
I wanted to try that.
I've seen like ones of all Magikarps or all Dittos or
Magikarp level 100. It doesn't work. Magikarp doesn't work.
You can use Magikarp. There's some, I think there's some move that you can make Magikarp decent, and then there's like Shuckle where.
Oh, bounce.
No, not that, but like, we're actually out of time. So, see you guys.
Bye.